I think I've been very lucky because there have been a lot of Asian variety and options here in Dortmund, and then also in Düsseldorf, where I go every day for my German language classes. I didn't know it before I came here, but actually, some consider Düsseldorf the Asian food capital in Europe. And so there are tons of options. I have Chinese, Korean, Japanese restaurants. A lot of them are very authentic and what you get really back home. And so yeah, food hasn't really been an option, which has been something that's really important to me. I think the dish that I miss the most, I would say, is chicken rice. Because I mean, it might sound simple and everything, but I think nothing quite beats a Singaporean chicken rice, and I don't think you can find that anywhere else in the world. So that will be, yeah, something that I miss the most. So I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. And then I quickly get breakfast, and then I take my bike to the Hauptbahnhof, which is like the central train station here at Dortmund. And then I have to get on the 707 train to Düsseldorf, takes about an hour. And there I start my language course every morning, 8:30 to 1 p.m. So 4.5 hours of learning German intensely. And then after that, I grab a packed lunch, so either a Korean restaurant or a Chinese restaurant, and I get my packed lunch and then I eat it on the train back to Dortmund. And then I usually have training in the evenings. It's different timings for different days. But yeah, that's the schedule. My trainings are all in German. All the players in my club, all my teammates, they all speak German, and the coaches as well. So training is all in German. I try my best to keep up, but sometimes, yeah, I'll need a bit of help from some of my teammates to translate or try and understand what's happening. And then yeah, I'm studying in a German language course in Düsseldorf, and so that's been really helpful in trying to get my German up to speed. And hopefully in a couple months' time, I'll be able to understand what's happening in training. I've actually already tried ordering a cup of coffee at a cafe fully in German. And so yeah, baby steps, but we'll get there. I think the training trip was more to, integrate the whole team together, for the new players to assimilate into the team, for the old players to, get to know the new players, get to know, yeah, the new team. And so for us to get to know each other better, because obviously synergy off the pitch is going to help on the pitch as well. And so that was one of the key focuses of the training camp. And then also for all of us players to understand and to be able to execute what the coaches' plans for us are on the field. Different coaches have different playing styles, how they want different players to move, and the tactics and the shape and formation and everything. And for us players as well, we're different. We're used to different playing styles of coaches, and so at the Alps and the training camp, we had a lot of time to really grind out the details for the coach to explain what he wants us, what he expects of us as players, how he expects us to move, and the positions he wants us to take. And so I would say that was the two key points for the training camp. There's definitely been times where I felt homesick. I'm really close to my family, and so being away from them for extended periods of time has been challenging and tough. But I've been in the UK for a year and a half, and so I think I've sort of gotten the hang of it. Being away from them, and it helps that the internet makes it a lot easier now, that I can still call them, I can still text them on the daily basis, which would have been tricky a couple years ago. But so that's definitely been something that's been really helpful, to be able to call my parents every day, and speak to them. But yeah, there definitely been times where it's still been hard after training, because of the time difference. They're all asleep back home, and so there's no one that I can talk to about what has happened at training. But yeah, it's the process, and it's a huge sacrifice. But I think that it's something that I'm getting used to, and it's been good. I think one of the biggest things that really stands out to me since I've joined the club is the passion of the fans. And I don't say it lightly, but they are so passionate, and some of the fans really travel to every single game, watch a lot of the trainings that we have, and it's crazy to me in a very very good way. Even when we went to Kitzbühel in the Alps for our training camp, we had to take a flight from Dortmund to Munich, and then we had to take a bus ride from 2 hour bus ride from Munich to the Alps. So it was a long travel, and so when we got there, it was late at night. All of us were really tired already, and some of the fans were already there before us, and they had flags out, and they were welcoming us into the hotel. And it's just these kind of things that really took me by surprise, and it's been something that I've really enjoyed to experience playing for the club. My teammates have been superb. They've been nothing short of helpful, and they've just been so welcoming. One of my biggest worries when I was coming here was how I will be able to gel with the team. Obviously, me speaking limited German, if any at all, and them speaking limited English, I was, expecting, a bit of a challenge in the language barrier, me not understanding what's happening at training. But all of them have been so, so, so helpful. A couple of them speak English, so they've been helping me translate what's and helping me understand what's happening at training. And then even those that don't speak English well, they've really made it an effort to try and integrate me into the team, integrate me into the conversations they're having in German. And so it's been, yeah, it's been great, and I've been nothing short of grateful. So obviously our biggest aim and our biggest goal for the season will be to get promoted to the fourth tier. And so that's what the whole team, and that's the biggest aim, and that's what we're all gunning for. But then obviously we're BVB, right? And so we want to win everything. And so we're hoping that we'll get as far as possible in the Westfalen Pokal Cup as well. But the biggest aim and the main aim is to get promoted into the fourth tier. So my head coach Thomas, he actually used to play as a striker, and so he's been really helpful in giving me tips on my movement and my positioning as a striker. And it's all these little things that gives you a slight edge that sometimes only playing as a striker you would have known. And so for him to have played in that position, and then now as a coach, it's been really helpful in getting me in helping me to improve. I'm really excited, to get kicked off with the season. We've been preparing hard, and I think the team has really been coming together very nicely. I'm getting to know a lot of the players well on and off the pitch. And yeah, with the past few friendlies and training camps, I think that the preparation has gone very well. And so I'm just really excited to get started with the season, and to play my first official league match for BVB. I think my personal aim is just to score as many goals and try and help the team as much as possible. And like I mentioned before, as a team, our main goal is to get promoted into the fourth tier, and so that is what I have my set sight on, in the short term. And then it's just to improve as much as a player. The facilities and the options that we have here at the club is immense, and so I just want to make the most out of it to get as much help and improve as much as a player in the time I'm here for. So I would say just to work as hard as possible. Work so hard that they can't tell you no. And I've said this before, and it's a reminder to me as well. And so it's not just a message to all these aspiring young girls, boys who want to play professional football, but I think it's something that I tell myself on a daily basis as well, to continue to work hard, to never settle, and just to keep improving, because once you've settled and once you think you've reached it, or once you think you're done, and that's when everyone else continues improving and shoots way ahead of you, and yeah, that's when you probably should hang up your boots. So I think the easiest way to do that is to go on Instagram and follow BVB09 Frauen. That's the Instagram page dedicated solely to the women's team of BVB. And so they have all the updates, when our games are, where you can catch it live. And I think most of our home games will be streamed live on Twitch. And then you can also follow me on Instagram at Danelle Tan. And I will also put on all the games that I'll be playing on, and where you can catch the live streams.